this little deal here goes over the fork tube, so when you put the new seal on, these edges here are sharp and can cut the seal. So you put this little thing over it, which is called a fork seal bullet. You see that? Made by Motion Pro. This is a 43 millimeter fork, so that's the one we got. So you're going to want to just coat the inside of this with a little bit of oil, and then we're going to coat the outside with oil too before we start sticking the seal on there. So this will get a coat of oil, then the seal will get a coat of oil. Okay, now we're going to put everything back on in order. So I'm using SKF Fork Seals. You see that over there? Anyways, so the part number SKF 001, or the kit number is KITG 43K. So yeah, it comes with each side. You have to. It doesn't come with both of them. You have to get 2 of them. They're roughly, with the tax and everything, I want to say something like $78, $79 for both of them. But it comes with the new dust seal, the fork seal, and it has this extra little spacer in there that goes on top of the other factory washer. I'm not sure exactly what that does, or if it's just to move the seal up a little bit because maybe it's wearing in one spot. I don't know. I'll have to look that up, see if I can figure anything out. But yeah, I guess if it came with it, they want you to use it. The main thing is when you put the seal in, that it's not sticking up too far where you can't get the circlip in there. Because then you get a problem. So I did a little research, and yes, I was correct on that. Extra little thickness washer that comes with the SKF Fork Seal. You only use that if the seal is smaller than the original seal. So I use the calipers, put the factory washer, the washer thing that came with the new fork seal, put that on there, measured that with the calipers, and then use that measurement and measured, see if you see it, from where the lip where that washer sits at up to the groove where the snap ring thing fits into. Because if it's over that, then it's not, you're not going to get the snap ring in there. So on these particular forks, you do not use the extra washer that comes with it. Alright. Oil on there. So this is just going to slide on over here. And it's going to go all the way down to where that bushing fits. So we'll put everything in reverse order. So coat everything with oil. Dust seals, everything. So remember, we're putting everything. If you're used to doing conventional forks, it's easy to get turned around. So we're going to do our dust seal first. Got our, well, snap ring can go on afterwards. You can just bend that around there. Then we'll do our fork seal. Make sure you got it going the right way. So that's the wrong end. We're going to put this in with a little spring in there. Hopefully you can see that. So that's going to go down. Some oil on there. Then we got our washer. So the flat part's going to fit it against the seal. We got our bushing there. We'll take this little bullet thing off, put the bushing on. That'll go there. And then our big bushing on the top. Back on everything. Lube the tube. And stick a little lube inside of here. Yeah, I didn't have a 43mm fork seal driver. I got this Motion Pro one, 43mm. So it's got these little, this thing actually turns somehow. Anyway, it's on a dovetail. There we go. I'm gonna just put them on and tap that bushing down a little bit. And now we're tapping that bushing in. Alright, so that bushing's down. That's not necessary. I mean, when you tap the seal in, it'll drive that in too. But alright, time to put the fork seal in. Put this on, turn that ring a little bit, that holds that in place. And just gotta tap that down. Doesn't take a whole lot. Just want to look and just make sure it's down below the gap where the circlip ring. I believe we achieved it. Now let's take our fork seal driver back off. Wipe a little bit of oil back off there. Take our clip. Make sure it's all the way in the groove, all the way around, which it is. And then the dust seal, easiest way is just to go like that. That's it. Fork seal's done. Now we can go ahead and add our oil in, get the dampener bled, and yeah, get it back and reassembled. Alright, so give you a close up of the order of everything. So, from the bottom part, you got a dust seal, snap ring, oops, let me back this thing out a little bit. So the little snap ring, we got our fork seal seat, washer, whatever you want to call it. We got the bushing, and then the other bushing that's way up on top here. We're gonna add the fork oil in there. So it's saying 569 what is it, cc's, milliliters. Cc's and milliliters, I believe, are the same. So on the ratio right cup, we'll fill it up to like, we'll try to get it to like 469 or somewhere thereabouts, and then we'll put another 100 ounces or 100 cc's in there. Oh, to show you guys the Skf Fork Seals. Now the reason people are using these is because they have less friction than the stock, you know, knock fork seals. So it's supposed to be like 20% less friction, which I'll try to show you if I remembered it when I do the next one. But you'll know when I do the knock one, usually the whole fork tube will pull up with it, and then it'll stay up. Once it's up, it won't go back down. But these, there's just less stitching in it, and they're self-lubricating seals. So that's why we run them. Alright, so there's roughly 469. Doesn't really matter because we're going to use a syringe and suck the fluid out to a precise measurement. So this is just to get it going. I'm using a Maxima 5-weight fork oil. That's about the closest to the stock weight that I found. I forget the Suzuki, whatever their oil is, it's comparable to this one. Okay, so now we gotta bleed the damper. So what you want to look for before you start pulling the damper up and down, the oil level needs to be up over the damper inside. So the oil needs to be up away so you don't suck oil. Alright, so it's 569, so we're going to start so this thing will start getting hard to pull up and push down once all the air is out of there. And it won't go back down either, like that. And I can look in there and see that the fluid's up over the top of the dampening mechanism. Okay, so should be all the air out of there now. So what you're looking for is that thing is pretty stiff to pull up and it's pretty stiff to push back down. You don't hear any gurgling or anything like that, no air. Now we can't lean this over. This is when a vise comes in handy. I need to get a bigger one. Now we're going to check our fork fluid level. So check this with no spring in there, the two halves compressed, and this little thing, I have this set at 120 millimeters. So this straw thing will go down into here, and it'll, well, I'm gonna have to take this wire off. It's gonna sit down into here. Hold your fork tube up straight, and we'll see if we get any fluid out of it. If we don't, we'll add some more. So it doesn't look like it's sucking any out, so we're going to have to add just a little more. We'll just add a little bit at a time. Alright, so now we're getting a little fork oil through there. So we'll suck out is so we had the air coming through there. So that is that. Now we can go ahead and start reassemble everything. We're going to set this cap up. So what we're going to do is the rebound adjustment. We're going to turn that in, and they want us to have, so inside of the hole in there, you'll see a little screw in there. That screw to the flush part of this should be 13 millimeters. So we'll set up our calipers at 13 millimeter, and we slide it in there, and then we adjust that to get 13 millimeter. So we'll back it out just a little bit. In one quick. Okay, so that's right at 13 millimeters. So now when we screw this down onto the dampening rod, we're gonna, this is gonna be, the inner dampening rod is gonna be inside the dampening rod. So when this goes on there, it should just touch that thing. And then that's where we set the lock or jam nut to the cap. From the full out, turn it all the way in until you don't hear any more clicks. Turn it out till you hear your first click. Oops. So turn this all the way in. You won't hear any more clicks. Turn it out. You hear that first click. From there is where we're going to set this inner thing, which is this. By turning this, I already know now that from when you hear that first click, you need to turn this rebound out about 1, 2, 3. Let's try 3. Let's see if we can get our 13 millimeter. Not quite. Let's go 4. 4 out. Let's check that. Not quite. Let's try 6. 6. Maybe you can see that. Anyways. Alright, so 6 is about right there. That's close enough, because if we're going, it's sitting flush. Okay. So this particular one, 6 turns out from being all the way in, then to the one click, and then out 6. I'm getting the 13 millimeter. And I checked this one with the other fork I just put in. It has the same amount of clicks, you know, after putting it back in, so it should be correct. All that's set. We got our rod. Get that off one more time. And put our inner dampening rod back in there. So oil come out there. Alright, so as far as the book says, you take this jam nut and run it all the way down till it stops. Don't tighten it. Just kind of take it off there. And we'll get it set up for the, put the cap back on. Alright, we put our spring back in. Remember, taper side up, tighter coils to the bottom. Oh, you know what? Oops. I forgot that that other cap came out of there. Yeah, the cap for the dampening rod for the where the spring sits on there. There we go. Can you hold this up for 1 second? I lost a tiny bit of oil out of there, so I'm just going to squirt some of this back in there. Good enough. Now we're going to get our dampening rod up again. Should lift my little thing on there. Yeah, I think it's fine. Alright, so we're going to push this back down again, and we'll put our special holding tool back in there. Yeah, try this one more time. Maybe 2 more times. Okay. Ready? Keep pushing. There we go. Woo! It is on. On like Donkey Kong. Okay, you can let go. So now we're going to put this cap on there. So what they want you to do is put the cap on until you feel it hit that inner dampening rod, which we'll find out if you can even feel it. I guess that's it right there. Okay. Now we can take our see if this thing will slide on that. So we'll turn this jam nut up to the cap. Hopefully you can see this. So you're going to feel just a little tension when it touches that thing. So don't force it. As soon as it stops, that's good. Then loosen the jam nut. Or I guess technically we're tightening the jam nut to the cap. So when it touches that, then we'll... that comes out, you're going to get popped in the face. Taster feet averted. Here, push that back in one more time. Okay. Yeah, I guess you gotta watch that thing walking. Now I'll hold the cap with the 17 millimeter and snug up that nut. Like I said, it's about 11 foot-pounds, so just kind of, it's not that much. So that should be good right there. So now we can push this down, remove the tool, and we should be done with this sucker. Okay, ready? That's a wobbly little sucker right there. See if we can like, pull that rod towards the other side. Alright. Whew. That was tough. It wasn't tough, but it was pain in the butt. Okay, tool is off. So all we're going to do is slide this up. Turn that on there. Now you won't have to, don't torque it down until you get it back on the bike, and then you can torque it into triple tree. That's enough. No oil anywhere, that's good. Got a chicken. Looks like it's shot. Fork. Alright. So that is that. This can get put back on and we'll do the next one. Right, let's get this fork leg in. So what I figured out, these tubes go in tight. Just take a flat blade screwdriver and stick it in the triple tray. It'll slide right up on there. So just lining up the fork with the triple tree there. Like I said, the top of the fork tube, not the cap, should be at the flush line on the top of the top triple tree. So the cap's going to stick just a little, stick out over it. We'll tighten up the bottom triple tree, get it snug in there, so tighten your cap. Alright, let's get our torque wrench and finish that one up. Get both the fork tubes on, torque down. So we'll go ahead and start putting the front fender on. Oh yeah, it's so you don't leave your calipers hanging. You can just take and stick it on the little thing that sticks out there. That way you're not hanging off from the brake hose, the brake line. So we torque the axle nut, of course, before we torque the pinch bolts. These get torqued to 17 foot-pounds. we're going to set this for the calipers at 28.5. Pump up the front brakes before we forget. That's good. We're going to put the ABS sensor back on. Okay. Alright, front end is done. Double check everything. Those are on and torqued, those are on. Those bolts are on. Those are on and torqued. Wonder, we gotta still set the preload back where it was. Yeah, that's good. Alright guys, well that's gonna be it. I hope you learned something today, and yeah, if you got any questions, leave the comments down below. I'll try to get back to you guys. So like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.